進化したのか。
Hey everyone, it's Mark. This is my recap for Pokémon Journeys episode 78. The Cerise Laboratory is under attack. This was the 1163rd episode of the Pokemon anime, and another important evolution episode. That means we get to see the return of one of my favorite clips.
So, how long is it gonna be till the big Evolve-A-Rama?
Just quickly before we go over the episode, I appreciate all the support on my recent videos. Last week's review got a great reception, although wow, I did get so many original comments comparing Vulcaner to this guy I've never heard of before. Minato, I guess? I guess he's Naruto's dad or something. Whatever. You guys are all so cool and original for thinking the exact same obvious thing. Alright, enough about that. Let's talk about this episode. So most of this episode took place at night, which I guess is because GOH'S DRIZZILE is practically nocturnal. So we follow it around for a little bit and see that it still dreams about becoming an Inteleon, and it even does some individual training to try and make its water gun look like a snipe shot. Personally, I thought it had this move down as a Sobble. What was interesting about these night scenes was that they were pretty quiet and had very little dialogue, which is a cool change of pace from the usual non-stop action, especially from the recent episodes we've been getting. Anyways, DRIZZILE hears something and we can just barely make out the outline of a Kecleon snooping around. It looks like it's about to sneak into Cerise Lab when we hear some talking, and no, this Kecleon cannot speak, but more on this later. The next day, Ren and Krissa are devastated about the lab's data getting stolen. Well, more accurately, the lab's data from Unova has been deleted. Thankfully, Ash is on hand to help look around for this data. You know, maybe since Ash has been stuck as a 10-year-old for over 2 decades now, maybe he just really has no clue what data is, huh? The team gets to work on beefing up their security, but the Kecleon is there recording everything that's going on, and we see this guy observing them and keeping track of all the new passwords. Okay. In tonight's nighttime adventures with DRIZZILE, we see that it once again thinks about being an Inteleon, and after another training session, it starts investigating what's going on inside the lab. It even sees the Kecleon, well, at least the outline of a Kecleon, deleting more data from the computers. DRIZZILE tries to chase it down, but is unsuccessful. The next day, everyone is totally devastated once again, and this time they deleted all of the data that Ash and Go had gathered from their trips to Galar. I don't know how you guys felt when watching this episode, but this storyline was really difficult for me to get behind. Like, I did not feel that emotionally invested in this data deletion thing. Eventually, the professor and his assistants get all fired up to go try and make their data more secure, and later that night, Go tries talking to DRIZZILE about what's going on, and DRIZZILE hears him pouring his heart out about how these were the experiences and memories that they shared together getting deleted. We get the Who's That Pokemon segment, and I am only pointing it out this week because they made it a tricky one. It was hard to tell if this was a Pokemon from the Sobble evolution line or a Kecleon, but I guessed correctly, it was a Kecleon. Go decides to take matters into his own hands and investigate what's going on, and DRIZZILE steps in to help. Nice to see these two interact again. I mean, it's only been 16 episodes of absolutely nothing between these two since Sobble evolved into DRIZZILE. They confront the Kecleon, and the weird hacker person starts speaking through the piece of technology that Kecleon has been using to infiltrate the lab. They try to escape, and they eventually end up on the roof, but not before waking everyone else up, too. Out of nowhere, the hacker guy flies in on a jetpack. What? And if he wasn't already annoying enough, he ends every sentence with she. I don't know if that's like a speech impediment or whatever's going on here. I don't know. This guy was super weird and awkward. He says his name is Yabashi or Yabashi, and he's gonna make a lab that's even better than the Cerise lab. I mean, I'm not sure if that's possible if your tactic is just stealing their data, but whatever. This guy does not really make much sense. A battle begins between Kecleon and DRIZZILE. It's back and forth at the start, but Kecleon quickly gains the upper hand. But Go steps in to protect it, which causes DRIZZILE to remember some of their past experiences together and how Go has always been there for DRIZZILE. And yep, here we go. This is when the big Evolve-A-Rama happens. So DRIZZILE is now Inteleon, and this is bad news for Yabashi and Kecleon, who try to run away before getting nailed with a snipe shot. Looks like all of Inteleon's training paid off. Inteleon actually saves the two villains from falling to the ground, which immediately causes Kecleon to get all overwhelmed by its new Prince Charming. This was a weird turn of events. Okay, so what's the resolution to this strange conflict? Are they going to send this guy blasting off like he's Team Rocket? Well, the one and only Mr. Professor Cerise appears, and this causes Yabashi to start fanboying over him, and he even admits that he just deleted the data because he wanted Professor Cerise to notice him. Wait, what? He also says that the data isn't actually deleted, and Professor Cerise even gives him an autograph. And I don't even know how to react to this. Like, what kind of conclusion to the story was this? The episode ends back inside the Cerise Park, where Go and Inteleon stare off into the night, with Inteleon having finally reached its goal of fully evolving. And now that there are no more tears to shed, they look forward to whatever the future may bring. I'm giving this episode a 6 out of 10 rating. No bingo tiles to speak of this week. I certainly was not giving this episode a 10 out of 10. I mean, quite frankly, without the big evolution, I think this would have been one of the worst episodes of Journeys, in my opinion. Like I said before, I did not really care much for this data storyline. I mean, even the concept of the data being deleted was not that interesting to me, and then they also happen to have probably my least favorite character of the day from Journeys so far. I mean, was there anything appealing about Yabushi? He was this misguided villain who was causing trouble for an incredibly flawed reason, and the actual resolution to this entire issue was just so unsatisfying to me. Like, he got Professor Cerise's autograph and then everyone just moved on? What? I don't know. This did absolutely nothing for me. The saving grace of this episode, in my opinion, was Drizzile's one-episode training arc to become an Inteleon and actually achieving it. I really enjoyed the scenes of it training by itself and becoming the Pokemon that it has been dreaming of one day evolving into. That alone bumps this episode to a rating higher than a 5 for me. But taking a step back from just this episode, wow, am I really not a fan of how they handled GOH'S Inteleon. I said it back in the episode when Sobble evolved into Drizzile that I was just not looking forward to this change in character of Drizzile hiding in its cave all the time, and we literally never saw it outside of its cave after that episode until now. Like, we got absolutely no character development here. I mean, after 16 episodes of it not appearing, aside from one small cameo in episode 70, it just randomly shows up here and evolves. Like, this episode could have come directly after Sobble evolved into Drizzile, or this episode could have come 100 episodes from now. There was just no rhyme or reason for why Drizzile suddenly evolved. There was no build-up, no evidence that Drizzile was even doing anything all this time, and now suddenly it's an Inteleon. Great. Good for Inteleon, but why was there just no story that built up to this moment? And oh yeah, one other detail about this that really frustrated me. They basically spoiled this big evolution in the manga. I'm not sure if this was an actual manga release or just leaks of the manga, but technically this was the first time a main character's Pokemon evolved in the manga prior to the anime. Whatever, I guess I'll just have to get over it. You guys all know that I am generally really positive about Pokemon Journeys. I have definitely enjoyed the series more than a lot of people have, but man, I am really disappointed with how they've handled GOH'S Inteleon. I loved it as a Sobble. I mean, Sobble is still my favorite Pokemon through 78 episodes of this series, but wow, they have really lost the plot with it, both literally and metaphorically. Anyways, I guess we may see Inteleon more in the future now, so at least that's cool to see. I wonder when Grookey will evolve. They seem pretty content with it being GOH'S partner for the time being, but surely it will evolve one day as well. In the next episode, we've got another Chloe-focused episode, and this one has twice the Chloe. Well, apparently they're going to meet this girl who looks exactly like Chloe, who happens to have an Espeon and Umbreon because, subtlety or something. Yeah, this seems like a pretty basic Chloe and Eevee learn about some evolutions plotline, just like back in episode 63. To be fair, I did enjoy that episode, but like nothing really important happened in all honesty. Oh well, I'm still excited for next week, and I hope you'll join me again after the episode for my review. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys next time.